And we are off here with Learning with Mr. Neff. I'm your host, Mr. Neff. All right, today we're talking about union and intersection of sets. So we'll be talking about finding that, of course, and disjoint sets. So let's jump into the vocabulary right away here. A union contains all the elements in the set. So if you have two sets, or three sets, or four sets, but a union is all. So it's in this set or this set. So it's in a set A or set B or C. It's just everything listed out is the union. All right, it is marked by the symbol for U, which let me get my marker going here, my pen. It's marked by the symbol, that would make sense. Union symbol is marked like that for U. An intersection contains what is in common between the sets. So it's the and, it's in A and B. And interesting enough, that looks like this. So really that looks like a U and the other one looks like an N over here. And so those are the symbols. Now, disjoint sets, no elements are in common between the two sets. So for instance, if we had a universal set of students at Parkway Middle School, and then set A was 8th graders and set B was 7th graders, then that would be an example of disjoint sets. Okay, so let's look at here, band. All right, set, we'll call it band. So just look at it from this perspective, band and choir, okay? And so with that, lost my pen here maybe. B, I got it again, B, union, C. So that's what we're saying. Band and choir. Anna, Ben, Carol, and Dwayne are in choir. Dwayne, Ellen, and Frank and George are in choir. Did I say that right? Anna, Ben, Carol, and Dwayne are in band. Dwayne, Ellen, Frank, and George are in choir. So the union will be listing all of those out. And then the intersection of band and choir, well, that you can already see. That guy's going to be there. It's going to be Dwayne. So let's look here. Yep, so the union, all right, they're listed out. But look back at the symbols I used. So this says B, the union of B and C. Here's the intersection of B and C. And then that's what we have. Anna, Ben, Carol, Dwayne, Ellen, Frank, and George are all in there. There's Dwayne as the intersection. He's the special guy who gets to be in both. Okay. Now, set X is a whole number. Set X is a whole number. Let's go with less than 15. Set X is a whole number less than 15. Y is an odd integer, and Z is a multiple of 4. All right, so I wrote it out here. What is the intersection of X and Z? So I'm saying what's in common between X and Z? So X is a whole number less than 15. All right. And so a whole number less than 15, so you're talking about 0 through 14. All right, those are the numbers if I would list them out. And then Z is a multiple of 4, so 4, 8, 12, 16, right? So what is in common? What's in common between the two? Well, we just talked about it, all right? 4 is in both sets, 8 was in both sets, and 12 is in both sets. All right, nothing else would be in both sets. So there's their multiples of 4. Okay, next one, Y and Z. What is the intersection of Y and Z? Well, Y is an odd integer. Okay, so that would be your odd integers. That could be -1, it could be 1, right? Going from this side or the other. Keep going, and this is multiples of 4. Wait a second. So what would that be then, right? Odd and multiples of 4. There's no multiple of 4 that's odd. Therefore, empty set. So sometimes the intersection really is nothing. It's the empty set. So what would we call those two sets then? Oh yeah, we call them disjoint sets because everything that's in the one is not in the other. They're completely separate. Let's see what we got here next, maybe. Okay, of the 125 students in 5th grade, some have music on Tuesday, some have art, and some have both classes on Tuesday. 68 have music, and 33 have both classes. How many students have art on Tuesday? Okay, I better be careful with this one so I do not mess this up because my key is not in front of me. Of the 125 students in 5th grade, so we got 125 students that are in the 5th grade, right? Okay, and so it says some have music on Tuesday. All right. Some have both classes on Tuesday. So we have music, and then some have art. Right, so some have music, some have art, and some have both. So it says there's 125 total. It says that 68 have music and 33 have both classes. All right, so what that means is there's 33 right here. Okay, but the ones that have music only, we gotta subtract that out. 35 over here. Okay. And so now, it says how many students have art on Tuesday? Well, we need to know what this number is right here. Over here, how many have art? So we're going to take 125 minus, well, 35 plus 33, well, 68. Maybe I didn't even need to do that, what I was just doing, really, right? So 125 minus 68, let's borrow. Okay, 15, well, 15, now my pen doesn't want to cooperate again. It needs a new battery here, maybe. I don't know. Or just a better operator here. Okay. So we have 15. That's 7. Okay. 12, 11, all right, 5. 57. Okay. So 57, you say. So is that my answer? How many students have art on Tuesday? No. 57 students only have art. All right. So 57 plus the 33 that are in both means I have a total of 90 students. I'm sure that's right because I remember my key. 90 students are in art on Tuesday. So be aware of the words like only. It didn't say 68 only have music. It said 68 have music, so it implies that it's in that whole circle there. All right, let's move on. I think I got for sure one more. All right, it says solve. This is lesson 3-7. Solve this. But then it says write as an intersection or a union. Okay, so looking at this, we're going to start to solve, like I said, like 3-7. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear some space up here. And how do I solve that? All right, so right here, this one, absolute value bars are by itself like that. Now I can split it. This is an and because of the sign here that it's going to smush in the window there as we have with that. And so -5 is less than 2x minus 1 is less than 5. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this. Again, lesson 3-7 video. So we got to refer for this one. And there we're in business. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And -2 is less than x, which is less than 3. Now how's this different? Okay. How's this different than what we did in the other thing? Well, it's how you write it. So we've solved it just like we did in the last lesson, but now we write it differently, and we want to show, as it said, write as an intersection or union. Well, this is an and problem where it's in one and the other. It's a smush where it's going to have an overlap. So it's an intersection. So again, write down somewhere that and is an intersection, right? Somewhere, make sure you keep it handy. So that's an and then the union's an or. So what I did, look at what I had before. You see how x is greater than -2? So that first one right here, I'm going back and forth a little bit. I wrote it in set builder, remembering how we do set builder notation. X line, x is greater than -2. See how I split that? Okay, that's the left side. Now the right side looks pretty straightforward. Then x is less than 3. So it just gives it a different look between what it was and then what it is now. So it's just something to keep in mind as you're looking through this. And that should be all she wrote there. All right. Peace. That concludes Learning with Mr. Neff. Bye-bye.